time to get Project Terry's engine out from underneath it. Steering column. Now, here's the plan. Ramps out, wheel the car down. The steering column is undone. Lift the car up with the engine crane, and then hopefully the subframe and engine will stay in place, and it's out. Well, amazingly enough, I didn't undo all the bolts after all, so that's why it's not moving. So now I've got to lower it down and do a couple more. There's a pity. Missed a rather dramatic moment just then. These, this is clearly not meant for lifting the car up. It's funny how when you think you've got everything undone, you get to the point where there's no going back and you find something you haven't undone. Yep. Most definitely. There are 3 things I haven't undone there. I can certainly say that it's been more challenging today than it was yesterday. And I haven't even finished yet. But it is time for a cup of tea and a pasty. Which one though? Cheese and onion? Or cheese and ham? The cheese and ham one's out of date, so I might leave that for a couple of days longer. Look at this. I've actually got myself a plate. No more eating pasties out of melted plastic packaging. Trouble with that is that I need a washing up bowl now. I did have a washing up bowl, but I ended up using it for an oil change and didn't want to use it again after that for some reason. Oh dear. All the linkages for the gearbox are undone, except I didn't realise that the gear throw linkage thing goes underneath the subframe, and you've got to take that off at the back as well. So this is going to be probably the least health and safety conscious thing I've ever done. I've got to undo that linkage up there, so I've got to effectively climb underneath the car, held up by an engine crane. This blurry image is doing my head in a bit. I still can't get the thing off, so I'm going to have to resort to do something quite violent. Not used this for a while. I've been trying to do things properly, but today I've got to cut through that. I may as well film this, because if anything goes wrong and I get trapped under the car, then at least I've got myself a video. That was a bit less scary than I anticipated. What a sight, eh? How cool is that? Yes! Now I just have the trouble of moving this engine and subframe out of the way, because I need to pull it back while the... Gosh, I do make things difficult. I know what I can do. I think... No, that won't work. Every day, my Project Nigel channel is getting subscribers and views, so it's being shared about a little bit, and with good reason. But every day I tend to lose a couple of subscribers as well. And it's exactly this kind of thing I'm doing today, which is why. Because people come along and they experience a whole new level of incompetence and probably end up feeling quite disappointed. But I said it right from the start, I'm not a mechanic and I don't know what I'm doing. So with every turn, with everything, every time I think I've got a good idea, something goes wrong. And I have to think laterally yet again in order to find a solution to it. So you can see here, Rover 25, positioned about 3 foot off in the air with the engine and subframe out next to it. And now I've got to pull the engine and subframe down here, put it away, but of course I can't get past there, so I've got to lower the crane down and drive away with the car on the back, and then I've got to bring it back down again. So I'm going to have to drive it up there, take the crane, but you'll see what I'll do. Now my plan was to, once I've removed this, which I have done, to wheel it inside and then strip it down at a later date. But really it is too heavy. It's too heavy for a little man like me. I can't move that by myself. Well, I mean I can move it around a little bit, but trying to get it through a gap like that. So it makes more sense just to strip it down where it is. There we go. That is the engine removed from the subframe. So that's actually a lot easier to move around without the subframe and the wheels on it, because the wheels don't go in the direction you want them to do anyway. So almost in here with this, and I can drag the subframe in as well, and then I can take that apart at my leisure. And there we have it. One engine, one subframe complete. The only problem is of course it's making a mess of my stores again until I take it all apart. Now for another awkward bit, getting this off the truck, because I need my truck tomorrow. So I'm going to have to let go of the winch and see how far it'll go by itself. That's how you do it. I'm still chuffed about having hot pies. Do you know what? I really am pretty worn out, which is mildly embarrassing considering really that all I've actually done is essentially undo a few bolts and snip a few dangly bits. I am on my way to Aldi to go shopping. What else? Why else would you go to Aldi? I can't think of any other reason, except for possibly just to sit in the car for a bit. And there's a good reason why I might want to do that. After today, every single bit of my body's aching. When I say every single bit, I mean my back and my hips. Not everything else. Everything else is fine. But my hip is in an amazing amount of pain. My back's often a problem, but not like this. Where you go, fella? So, to just have a drive in the car to Aldi feels like a nice, comfortable treat. Because let's face it, one of the cool things about Rover seats is that they are extremely comfortable, especially when you've got back problems. And I've had back problems for as long as I've had a Rover. I'm sure this car's getting quicker. Just seems so responsive and eager to go for a bit of a good thrashing. Not that I was thrashing it then, really, I was going quite calmly.
Project Nigel.